introduce you to Laura Maria. She's going to be our speaker today, and she's going to talk us through what is needed apart from technical skills and give us lots of interesting insights into the business world and all of the soft and social skills. So, Laura, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dominika. So it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you everyone for joining this session. As I already mentioned before, I really encourage you to grab the coffee or some cookies or a tea to a little bit relax after the whole day of working. I will be guiding you today through why the technical skills aren't enough anymore. I would obviously this session will be more about me talking and giving you some insights or giving you some tips, tricks how to navigate through these situations and current ages. But in the same time, if anyone has any questions or would like to share some experience from their side or some struggle with their side, I really encourage you to raise the hand. It's around 20 people, so we can definitely have some spare time, even during me of explaining you the things, to just raise the hand and going into the discussions directly. So please take it a little bit more friendly and informal and not so official. And so yeah, let me dive into it. So in today's age where technology drives nearly every aspect of our lives, we often hear about the importance of technical skills. And while these skills are absolutely crucial, because the environment is really growing too fast, I would like to emphasize the fact that the technical expertise alone aren't sufficient for success. Why? Well, because innovation doesn't happen in isolation. And it only thrives in the environment where diverse perspectives come together, where ideas are shared openly, where you a little bit broaden up your mind, and where the collaboration is at the forefront. So through today's talk, I would like to explore why it's essential to go beyond technical know-hows and to develop the interpersonal skills which are necessary to thrive in these collaborative settings. And I hope that after this talk, I will equip you with the practical tools, strategies that will not only enhance your ability to work with others, but also to foster the atmosphere where innovation can truly flourish. So today's talk is going to have three parts. The first one is the importance of effective communication and translating the tech concepts into the business value, which will be followed with the strategies for developing a business mindset and alongside the technical skills. And the third part will be focused on my favorite one, which is the role of networking and building or fostering the meaningful collaborations. Starting with the first one, so the effective communication. I would love to ask you guys what you think is the crucial for effective communication. It's a pity that probably you are too shy to share with the whole audience. Someone raised the hand. Okay, Tamer, tell us.
I think one of the most important things to understand the expectation of the other.
Yes, yes. The clarity on of what the others are telling you, the active listening even.
Yes.
Dominika, any ideas? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you need to have kind of your goals in mind already before you actually start talking or while writing your message, so that you can kind of work around that and structure it in the appropriate manner.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, you are totally right, because it's basically about ensuring that the right message is delivered in the manner that resonates with anyone who is involved. In this specific case, we're going to be speaking about the stakeholders, because we're going to be speaking about the organization where you are the tech expert and you have to collaborate or you have to work with the different teams, which are non-technical ones. And there it's a lot of space for miscommunication, misunderstandings, or even a slight conflict. So how we basically translate the technical concept into the clear business values. It's essential for ensuring that everyone involved in these discussions or the decision making is going to understand correctly the implications of the decisions, and the decision will be made faster. And one of the first one is exactly what you, Dominika, mentioned, which is clarity and precision. So you can be using the technical jargon that often confuse the non-technical stakeholders. And that is causing a lot of misunderstandings. That is causing a lot of troubles when you are using too complicated language. So you have to be using clearly what you want to deliver with the language which is easy to process for the teams which are non-technical one. And definitely you should be avoiding unnecessary technical terms. Although you are the expert and you want to show off your skills, many times in non-technical background, it's important to give the explanation. So the language have to be absolutely accessible. Secondly, you have to communicate through the trust and transparency. So for example, during the project updates, technical leaders might explain potential risks associated with the new technologies or new applications in very straightforward terms, in very easy way for business leaders to understand what this decision will be implied into the reality. And this transparency is fostering the trust, so stakeholders feel included in the decision making. Then secondly, it's also thirdly, it's a collaborative problem solving, because a good communication encourages collaboration. For instance, if your marketing team encounters challenges during some software implications, they should feel comfortable in coming back to you to discuss these issues or even to ask for help. And the collaborative meeting can lead to new innovative solutions that address both technical constraints and marketing needs in the same time. And the last point is the feedback mechanism. It's not easy, especially when you are more focused in the tech, to ask for the feedback, because it's also very easy to get criticized for the results or criticized for your decisions, criticized for your opinions. And as every human being, people doesn't like to be criticized. But in order for you to grow and in order for you to foster the transparency and to foster make easier communication and decision making, asking for the feedback is necessary. And how to deliver the feedback in this kind of environments. So first of all, you should imply some channels for the feedback, which are allowing two-way dialogue. So you don't feel that you are only being controlled or hunted by someone criticizing you or oppositely giving you a good feedback. You should imply the regular check-ins, schedule the meetings or updates, providing the opportunities for the leaders or stakeholders to share their insights or even concerns. You can do this bi-weekly, you can do it as a review with your team directly, but you should be the one actually initiating this, that you want to have a regular check-in and you don't want to wait only for the moment when the conflict or misunderstanding already happens. You can prevent that with these check-ins. Then you can also schedule a service or pools where you can ensure the effectiveness of communicating strategies. For instance, you can, after the project is finished or completed, you can conduct a survey among the team members where you can highlight the areas where communication could be improved or something could be done differently based on your suggestions in the future collaborations. And you should definitely use the collaborative platforms. Sometimes it's even the internal chats, which you can use through the Slack or Microsoft Teams, which you can give the real-time feedback on ongoing projects or on ongoing issues which you are dealing with very unofficial way. So I would definitely encourage you to go through all these 3 steps. And then my favorite topic, which is the communication by itself, how you are defining that you are giving the right message in a direct way or the correct way to the person you're speaking with. So there is one tool or one concept, which maybe some of you already heard about, which is a color communication. It's basically a concept which categorizes the communication styles on color-coded frameworks. This concept is presented by True Colors personality assessment or discovery model, and there's many other different variations where you can find out about your color communication, but also the implication for the other people. And this framework basically works on categorizing the individuals in 4 different colors. And these colors are red, blue, green, and yellow, which each is representing the different communication style. The red one is usually grouped in the people or individuals that are very assertive. Usually, many times it's the leaders who are very result-oriented and very direct. They prefer very clear, concise information and thrive in very face-based environments. So when you speak with these people, they go straight to the point, and they are focused on the outcomes. Many times these people are the ones who send the emails just very brief, like thanks or ok or no, do this and so on. But it's never in a way that they're trying to offend someone or they don't care. It's just their way of communicating. They need something which is to the point and direct. And maximum you can tell them the result of the actions you are doing, but no text around, no long emails, no long descriptions, explanations, showing them the graphs. No, it's a direct to the point. Then you have a blue people or blue group of the individuals. And these people are very analytical, they're very detail oriented. They value the data, they value the structures, they appreciate the whole process of going through the explanations of the evidence, of the data points or case studies, and they really enjoy the evidence-based discussions. So when you speak with them or when you write them the email, you should be aware that they want to see the metrics. You have to speak with them based on the last performance metrics, which were 25% as shown in this graph, and so and so and so. That's the way how they perceive the informations in a more smooth way. If you're gonna be communicate with them just direct and brief, as with the red ones, you will not move very far with them. Like you will again come in the small crash or some small disagreement, because they will require more data. They really want to see the structure of it, and the value of the numbers or percentages behind that. The third group is the green group, which are very supportive, they are very empathic, they prioritize the relationships, teamwork, harmony, a good environment to work, they want to have a time to go through the things, they really value the collaboration and often seek the results in the discussions. So they don't really come to you with the direct solutions, they don't really come to you with the data. They really need to use the inclusive language that promotes the teamwork, that you are using more we efforts or we are working on something. When you speak with them, you should always speak in the we. So we value your feedback on this and this feature. How do you think this will be aligning with this and this proposal? Or we would like to discuss, and you go into the deeper discussion with them. These are usually the people who are exactly opposite of the red ones. And many times when these people are communicating with the red ones, they feel offended, they feel less valued, because the red ones are very direct for them. So for them, being told just do this or send this email to that and that person is being offensive, because they would like to have the explanation, why are we doing this, and why as a we team are reaching this point that we should be sending this and this and this. And it's the same way how you have to communicate with them in order to not crash the conflict. And the last ones are the yellow ones, which are extremely creative and enthusiastic. For sure, every one of you know some yellow person in their life, because they're like a sunshine. They're always running around with lots of ideas, with a huge picture ahead of them. They really enjoy the brainstorming and they enjoy the innovative ideas. And they need a dynamic environment. They need something to hype in, to bring the creativity. You have to encourage them in the discussions, in talking with the other teams, with opening their minds, allowing them this space, giving them the space to just create. And with them, you always have to use imagine, let's brainstorm, let's think about some innovative ideas. These people are very valuable when you speak with them to give you different perspectives and different view on the world. But again, when you communicate with them, you can't be just direct, because direct as a red communication, which is very assertive and direct, can be blocking them, can be feeling them being stuck in only one option, because the red communicators are giving you exact thing to do. They write you exact set of the things, and that's it, without any explanations why or when and so on. And the yellow one, they want to have options. They want to have the broad perspective. So these are the 4 colors which you can use for identifying yourself. You can always be a mixture of 2. Many times there is a mixture of red and blue. Many times people think that they are a mixture because they are socially aware of these kind of things, and they try to already communicate in a manner which is suitable for other people. But this concept can help not just the technical people to learn how to speak with the non-technical one, but also in a daily basis when you're speaking with your friends or when you are speaking with a new people you are meeting on the events. It always helps when you can kind of already guess which communication style this person is and how they perceive the information and how do they want to receive the information in a way which makes them comfortable and make most of it from the first impression. Because when someone communicates in the same level as you already feel understood. So there's less space for the misunderstandings. And coming from this, we can slowly shift towards the second topic, which is the strategies for developing a business mindset. So I will just have a little bit of the water. So nowadays, as we are in the era of where the lines basically between the technology and businesses are becoming more and more blurred, because how you can really define what is the business and what is the technology behind it. Many times nowadays there's a tech people who are just opening the startups and they don't really think about the business implications behind that. And many of the startups later on either catch up on the timeline and they hire the consultancies or they hire the team which is able to also take care of the business part, or it ends up as a sale of the tech application or the tech to another team which is able to also develop the business part of it. So the importance of a business mindset is really crucial. The fact that you are brilliant in the tech area, like let's say that you are a brilliant software developer, it doesn't mean that you can't be also brilliant in building a business. So how actually this works and what are the bottom lines for you to align in order to be able to focus on the business side as well. So there's a set of the actionable, I would say, strategies that I hope will empower you or bridge this gap between being just the tech and having the business mindset as well. This list can be really long, but I try to pinpoint around six points, which are the ones which I believe are really important to build your business mindset. The first one, you should set a clear, measurable goal. What does it mean? It's not about what you want to achieve, like your KPI in your position, but it more means that you should know how your technical role is building the broader context of the whole organization. So it's not just that you are contributing with your technical skills to a specific project to enhance the satisfaction of the client, let's say, but also how this technical growth is tying to the overall business growth. You're creating the full roadmap that is focused on motivating the people, that is focused on the much bigger goals of the whole company, which your technical skills are going to be adding up to. This is one of the sets or one of the strategies which is many times mistaken for the KPIs, so the key indicators for you to be successful in your role. Because again, as many people are very individualistic, you are joining the company or you are building your company and you think that this is the base, this is the thing for me to kick the start of it. But then by the time you realize that there's a lot of missing points which you didn't even realize are connected to this technical part. So you just have to build a much bigger, broader picture of the whole organization and how your specific skill is adding to the overall goal, which is measurable and you can see the outcomes of it. The second point is to, and this is very cliche, but I really like it because this is one which is also for your personal development. You should always embrace the continuous learning and even seek the mentorships. You might be the top-notch tech person, but if you are not continuously learning in this rapidly evolving environment, you are just staying as a benefit of something which is essential, but it's not enough. You should always consider that you are good enough in something, but you can be better in something as well. So you should be still striving to get most of it and to learn, to try enrolling to online courses, attending the workshops, even trying to shadowing the different teams within the company, for example. You can always get interesting in business management, in finance, in marketing. There's a lot of different departments of the companies which are crucial, which although you're in the tech part, you should be trying to understand or at least shadow them to see how it works and how all plays together. Many times this is happening with the salespeople in the tech industries when they have to work directly with the pre-sales engineers or basically with the engineers when there's very technical things and they have to invite them on the call. It's a very nice example when someone who is purely in the business part is actually getting involved in a team which is purely in the tech. And the tech person have to know and have to have a skills how to present, how to speak with the client, in some cases even go directly to visit them. So they have to have a business part of them in this case as well. And these are invaluable things which no one will ever take away from you, and you will use them in the social setting as well. And oppositely for the salespeople, the technical skills they get or technical know-how, even if it's just a fraction because they don't have a full knowledge behind it, it's already something which helps them in the future to be the expert in the field they are discussing. So enhancing any kind of your knowledge or skill set will also position you as a strategic partner in the future within the whole organization. It's going to be some plus which you are having. If you don't have a time or you think that it's not possible for you to enhance yourself within the company you are currently working or organization where you're involved, you can always seek the external mentorship. It's always about you accepting that you are really good, but you can be better. And there's a lot of mentors in the field. Maybe it's someone who you would like to be one day, and they can guide you through their story, they can guide you through their journey, how to get there, what to do to be that person. Then another one, the third one, is to develop the problem solving skills. We already discussed the problem solving in the communication part, when you should be seeking a feedback, you should be having the open dialogue with the people about the good things, about the bad things, about changing the approach or managing the way of dealing with the things. So a business mindset literally means approaching challenges with an analytical eye and creative spirit. So never get down because of something not working out, but find analytically what could be the solutions. Be creative, be open-minded, go beyond what you are thinking are your limitations in order to find the solution for you to move forward. So you are not going to be in a technical setting, you are not going to be just applying a quick fix, but you're going to be more thinking about how your solution can be optimized for cost effectiveness or efficiency by itself. And this approach will solve not just the immediate problems when they're occurring, but also demonstrating your commitment to the organization and their future or their success in the future. Then fourth step is the leveraging data-driven decision making. Every organization on the business level needs to have certain goals and need to have certain data-driven decision making. So you should understand how to analyze the data and how to also provide them, which usually the tech people don't have such an issue with. But they have to communicate them in the way which is crucial for making the informed business decisions. So it's not about only analyzing the user data from, let's say, the application and identifying the patterns that they're informing about the development of the decisions, but also presenting these findings in the terms of potential growth in the revenue, let's say. So it's connected to the first point when we were discussing that this is showing how your technical work directly is implying or impacting the business and the powerful narrative. And the almost last step is cultivating the adaptability. Sorry. So this is also one thing which you have to apply in your life as well. You just have to be adaptable. It's one of the keys to embrace the changes, then to resist against them. Especially when the new technologies are emerging, you should be asking yourself how this current process or system can change the things or adapt the solutions and streamline the solutions in the future and reduce the costs. So it's one of the things that it's beneficial not just for you, it's beneficial for your team, for your whole organization. You should be always focused on the sense of, I'm not going to be resisting, I'm not going to be creating an issue or a problem if there is a change. I will be the most easier person to adapt this change if it's communicated correctly to me, or if I can communicate it correctly to the other people or the teams which I am working with. Because when you can adapt, you can grow. You can find the new ways of dealing with the things, the changes, which is going to move you forward much more faster. And the last one, which is actually also the one as our last point of the discussion, is the networking and building a relationship. Building a relationship within your organization or outside of your organization can only open the doors for you everywhere. You should be attending the industry conferences, the professional organization groups within the organization you are, where you can connect with the business leaders, fellow tech professionals, engaging in the discussions about the industry trends, new trends, new news which are happening on the markets or in the industry. Open up your perspectives, open up your way of thinking. So it's one of the things which actually Tamer already mentioned, that in communication it's very important active listening or like a knowledge sharing. And to discuss the effective networking or foster the meaningful collaborations that are driving the innovation or success in the future, one of the most significant benefits of networking is to be able to break down the points which you don't see through within the organization. So many organizations, their teams are working in the isolations, and that can tie down the creativity and it can limit the whole potential. Many people experience this, and for sure many of you within the team when you're working on some project, as soon as you tie down the things and you don't want to share the things, it's limiting in the full outcome of the project. And that's happening with the companies as well, but on much bigger scale, because you're speaking about much more people. Many times it's the full corporation. And what networking is doing, it's allowing us to connect with the individuals from the different backgrounds and areas of the expertise and broaden up our horizons or broaden up our ways of thinking. So, active listening and the knowledge sharing. Networking by itself is not about the talking. It's quite the opposite. It's about the active listening and engaging with the person you are meeting, being open to learn from their experiences and insights. As I am a network leader in Barcelona for the Women Tech Network, I really noticed this many times, that people are coming to the networking event with the sense of speaking about I. So speaking about, I do this, I work for this company, and so on and so on. But actually the value in the networking is the opposite. It's for you to approach someone and get the ideas from them, get the value from them, let them speak about what they're doing, how they're approaching some challenges, how they're dealing with certain things in the industry, or maybe just to share their experiences from their industry if it's something totally different. And listen them not with you having something pre-prepared what you want to tell them. So don't go to meet the person like, okay, this is a manager in this company and I really want to speak with them. Go with the curiosity. Ask them the questions like the kid would be asking. If you don't know about their industry, just deep dive a little bit more and far to that. Ask them the things which actually after the meeting with them will value you or they will inspire you in the future. And obviously, if there's any space in between, you can offer your guidance or you can offer your experience, you can get into the discussions, and many times you can even start new projects like this, because you can really get to know the person in the level that maybe they would actually use or benefit from your skills in a specific projects or settings. And for this, nowadays it's super easy because we can leverage it through the digital networking platforms. Everyone for sure is using the social media. Some of them are professional, as the LinkedIn, let's say. Some of them are a little bit less professional, as Instagram or TikTok, Facebook. These social media, and actually even Twitter or X nowadays, these media are allowing you to network across the borders with anyone, with exact experts in the industries, with the people who just want to share their ideas, and they're giving you a safe space to also give them your opinion, your suggestions, or just introduction to yourself. I noticed that many times when we are speaking about these platforms, it's much easier to network, or let's say network, on the media which are less official. So many times you are getting in touch or reach out to the people, let's say on Instagram or TikTok, commenting the things, trying some interactions, because it feels more natural to you, as it's something in your free time or it's something not official. So you're not afraid to share your ideas, or you're not afraid to, just comment on something which you like or you don't like. LinkedIn or even the X or the Twitter, they are platforms more for the people who really want to share specific ideas or outcomes. And that's something what I really encourage everyone, especially the young generations, to leverage nowadays, because it's offering you a space which you can't reach anywhere so easily as nowadays. You can really go through anyone and you can interact with them in a very smooth way, and even offering your own guidance or your own expertise to them. And this can move you very far in life because it really gives you extreme opportunity to learn, to grow, to not be shy to approach someone, because in the real life you have to have a courage to speak with the people and put the things in the order which is easy for them to follow. But online, no one is going to judge you. So you can really express yourself and you can really network with the people you would like to actually reach out, even in the personal life. And after the digital networking, you can always follow it up with the personal one. And the last point for you to leverage the networking and fostering the collaboration is to participate in the collaborative projects or hackathons. Now, of course, if you have a daily job and you are already overdue with all the things you have to do, it's tricky because this will be something on top of your free time which you will have to be participating in. But it's a powerful way to network and also contribute into the meaningful initiatives or meaningful projects which has a very nice outcomes in the future. So look for the opportunities to join the weekend hackathons or after work hackathons, community projects related to your areas. And this doesn't have to be only in the tech. I personally participated in several hackathons on the business level and not just created amazing projects, but also created amazing friendships with the people who needed it the most in that time. And it's something what no one ever can take from you, because you can move forward the people with the knowledge you already have. And that's a beauty of how the human set of the skills works, how you actually live. And yeah, I think that these are the main point from my side. So this is what we were basically discussing, how the innovation is flourishing and breaking down the silos, actively listening one another and embracing the building the networks together. Um, and yeah, I would just encourage you to use these insights or the tools in your daily life. I will encourage you to participate in the different events, to be brave, to go through the hackathons, go through the networking events in your city or online, and be proactive. Try to reach out to the people, try to speak, and let your voice to be heard. And now I would be very much interested in a little bit more open discussion. What are your thoughts? What are your insights on what would be, for example, the most important strategies for building the right communication, or for the networking? What are your experiences or what are your challenges? Please raise the hands. Ask me anything you would like to concerning these topics. Tamer. Tell me, Tamer.
I have a question related to the first part of the talk. You said that if you would approach someone, you need to approach them and you see what is color they are, and try to, if they are scientific, you need to speak with argument. If they are more strategic, you need to speak with strategic behavior or something like this. What if you have a meeting and you have 4 or 5 person
Mm-hmm.
and each of them has a different background?
Mm-hmm. So this
What
is
you should
very,
do?
yeah, this is very tricky, and it happens many times in the teams, and many times this is the thing which I define with the color communication, because it's a natural thing that the teams are very diverse, and many times you're going to be speaking with someone who is better in process planning, which is going to be more in the green or blue level, but in order to make a decision, you need someone which is very assertive and just, for him it's easy to make a decision as a red people. To come up with the ideas, you have someone creative and you have a yellow. So basically, to create the optimal team for you to work, it would be that you include all the type of the colors together. Now, what you should do, so you as a, let's say, in position of the leadership, you should be aware of which person is in which level, and you should be able to deliver the things which you want from them in the way that each person gets the set of the things to do in their way of speaking. In a practical saying, you have a project to create 5 ideas by the end of the week. You would like to just have, okay, guys, come up with the 5 ideas. In the end of the week, we meet and we discuss them and we choose one. But you already know that for coming up with 5 ideas, you should probably approach with someone from the yellow part. So you dedicate it to him, tell him, okay, can you work with the team to brainstorm, to come up through the different solutions from your side? And just by the end of the week, can you please write me the list after this brainstorming, what you come from? Then you speak with the green one. You tell them, look, we were thinking that on this project, specific projects, we would need 5 different ideas by the end of the week. Please work with the yellow one. And in the end of the week, you're going to be sharing me all the process, how you were coming up with these ideas. Write me all the explanations why you think that these 5 ideas are correct. So the green one is feeling fine because he's going to be working with yellow, but he's going to be writing you about the processes which he's good at. He's going to be giving you the guidance and the arguments why these things, and we did this and this. And lastly, let's say you have a blue there, and you tell him, like, I spoke with these 2 guys. I need you join the meetings as well. We need 5 things. Please write me the percentage of the decisions you think makes more sense. You have it. It is a little bit time consuming for you because you could just say 5 ideas and it's done. But in a way, if you say just 5 ideas and it's done, probably the blue one is going to tell you, but okay, but how important is this on the overall picture? If I don't do it this week, next week, can I do it later? The green one is going to be totally lost, and he's going to spam you with millions of Slack messages or emails trying to get some like background overly why you need these ideas and what I'm doing. Maybe the yellow one is going to be still creative, you know, maybe he's going to still join the thing. But in order to just smooth it out and just go through it much more easier, I think the best way is to approach it one by one in a way they understand. Yes, Tamer?
Yeah.
Dominica.
Just just a small short reflection. I don't now try to explain the method by in a professional way, and I was not aware of that because simply we are doing the same. I can see Dominica here and Olga and maybe some other people from our consortium, and we actually doing the same mechanism during one of our meetings each year. So we have like a knowledge exchange workshop. Normally, this is sometime May, June, and this is a long workshop, like 2 days, and it's really exactly the same approach that you are doing, like approach people one by one or group discussion, and then return back to like group meeting, approach people again one by one. And I think this is really useful approach,
It is
especially when you have
sometimes,
a big team. Yeah, if you have team with different background.
yeah, and this works also behind the team or behind the professional settings, because this approach makes you understand that the person is not weird. The person is just speaking in a different way, or they need the different information in order to make decisions. And if you want to make it faster, this is the way you have to try to understand. And personally, I really like this set of the 4 different personas, let's call it like that, because it narrows down some sort of psychological actions. Otherwise, obviously, everyone is different and you can still go much more deeper. But I think that in the professional setting, the 4 is already enough for you to be able to put the people in some of setup. Hi, Antonia.
Hi, just on that, really like that idea, and I've heard of that concept, and we do some personality testing in the business that we're in. But obviously, with like a large business, there's stakeholders that you might just happen upon, or they're quite new to you. I wondered if there's any tools or resources that you could point us to where you're able to make assessments quite quickly around different personality types. Because obviously you can't, well, you could go through, but it'd be quite time consuming to go and try and learn this about everybody. If there's anything that you can use to kind of determine that quite quickly so that you can tailor meetings, etc.
So there is an inside discovery model and a true colors personality test. But if you simply just Google color communication or color communication style or models, for sure it gives you a lot of website having a different like a test, online test basically. Then there is also one platform which is for sure gonna show you, and it was concerned the personality, because it can shows you the different types. So for example, someone is in a personal level thinking that he's more like a red, but he also has a part which is blue, and you see the percentage of both of them combining together. Because many times it's not only one. So you can find the simple test which you can use for free online for sure. There's many of them that you just fill some test and it shows you the way. And then you can go to the elaborate ones which are slightly paid for, but it also gives you the personality thing, what you think you are, and the reality, what actually you are when you speak with the other people, and the percentage from each color, how much you have it in you. And again, I mean, especially what you mentioned, you work with a big team. So working in a big team, it's not just about doing this assessment, but also the people who do the assessment have to understand that sometimes maybe the leader is going to communicate in them in a different way because they are red, an opposite way. So we can't always try to accommodate the others. We also have to try to accept ourselves and be like, okay, they need this by Friday, they're going to get it by Friday. It should be just communicated differently to me, but it is what it is. I have to do the things which is required. So it's a both ways thing.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Dominika?
Yeah, so you mentioned that, well, the technical people should kind of get into the resources and like all these kind of events that would foster their business and entrepreneurial mind, which I very much agree with. But I was also kind of wanted to ask if you did the same thing, but like vice versa, because you come from the business background, you had like business positions, but in a more like technical company. So I was wondering if you kind of also attended those kind of events, conferences, etc.
Yes, I do, and actually it's one of the things I always even want to do when I join the company, because as you've mentioned, I'm on a business level. So I'm exactly in the sales level, and whenever I am selling something technical, I really appreciate to firstly have a knowledge exactly about the solution, and I want to understand on the technical level how it works. Now, it's not always easy, especially when you speak about the bigger companies. They don't let you to do all these things in the beginning when you're supposed to just start your job. But there's always space to request it, even when you have your one-to-one feedbacks or you have the evaluations that you want to shadow the different teams. The technical part for me was more in the companies. Then after that, I also joined the Women Tech Network. And although I'm not purely in the tech, I always work with the companies, or we always partnership with the companies which are purely in tech. So every time I'm dealing with these people or speaking with these people, they always offer me very valuable insights on the things and technologies, how they work for the specific industries and the companies they are in. And lastly, I think what helps is also to know that you can't be expert in everything. So I am joining these things, but for my broadening up or my personal knowledge, I didn't do any direct course in the tech area. I'm just developing the skills as I want to or I need to for my current positions on the way through participating in the different meetings, different conferences, different events, and being part of the different networks. The networks, because as I mentioned, there's so many of them, even online or in the person or in the place where you are based. It's really a great way how to connect with other people and learn more.
I was wondering if you could also share with us some maybe resources on specifically the sales department, kind of like how to get into it and stuff like that.
So for the sales, you need the interpersonal skills. Actually, all the talks I had today would be one of the base for you to join from the tech team to the sales team, because it's a lot about the active listening. Active listening, but with the goal, which is overall for the whole company, because, okay, you are working probably for your team or you have your team under you, and these results are coming and counting to the KPIs of the whole revenue of the company. Different levels, different companies, depends in which position you are, but you're going to be responsible for, with your skills, bringing the things towards the other people, ensuring that the solutions is something suitable for them and valuable for them. So it's going to grow your company plus the company you are selling to. For this, you really need to have your values on the right level, and these values have to be ensured that they're with the company you are working for or the products or solutions you are selling for. And then yeah, you just have to go through all the process of active listening, being proactive, network a lot, know the people, try to know the personas, know where to go, where to reach out. Yeah, and having the mindset of that you just do it. You can do it. There's no real no's, there's no real blockages, and if there are, you are adapted to it and you're moving forward with the new solutions, because there's always going to be some struggles and there's going to be some roads up and down, but you have to still add to the overall goal and not just your personal goal of your KPI.
Yeah, makes
Antonia, I
sense.
think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, so just on that, you mentioned like shadowing around the business as well and kind of exploring different areas. Um, where we work, we are kind of on our journey with women in tech. We are looking at like mentoring pilots and things like that. I just wondered what your experience was like, kind of straddling technology and the business side of things in terms of like getting buy-in from leadership and like from the business as a whole. Are there any tools and techniques that you can share or experiences about, kind of taking everybody on the journey with you? Because obviously, if you're shadowing and there's multiple of you doing that, you're not necessarily doing the job that, is your day-to-day job. And it's kind of like
Yes.
that balance. So, yeah, if you've got any kind of
Mm-hmm.
experiences you could share on how to do that.
So first of all, I would really encourage that it have to come from the individual approaching you. That, for example, in the one-to-one meeting or in a personal review meeting, that they approach you with the fact that they would like to shadow someone. If you see that you are offering to them, but they don't really want it, it exactly can happen the situation what you mentioned, that they're not going to be doing their daily job, plus they're going to be just sitting somewhere and listening something they don't care about. So that's why I was implying in my speech about being proactive and constantly learn, because if you join the company and you look at it that this is your value in it, but this is the full value of which I am adding to, I would like to also know about other people's. I would like to personally know, for example, I was very interested in finance. So I wanted to see how the overall corporation finance was working. And it's something what to me gave afterwards the value in the sales team, but because the sales team have to have the overall picture of how the company works, how the things are implying and how it organized everything. So for me in the sales, it was a really huge value if I could shadow the tech team, if I should be in touch directly with the marketing, and it was basically a direct work together, the logistics, the sales operations, finance, even legal when it comes to the contracting. And you can afterwards see that maybe some of the processes which seems too long, or they seems that there are no decisions in them, is not true. It's just that they have much more complexity behind, which you don't have a visibility in. Now, should you do this for everyone, or should you create like a 1 week of shadowing for different teams? Probably not in the big companies, but you could at least offer 1 day per year as a minimum for someone from a different team try a job of someone else. I would personally in my organization, if I'm building the company, go for that. So the person is feeling confident that they can try it out. And who knows, maybe they open something which you didn't even know they might be super passionate about, and they're going to be really good at it. And I personally witnessed cases of the legal departments that we had a person in marketing, and after having a chance to shadow for 1 week, not full week, it was like 4 days or something like that, the legal department, her background from the university was in legal, and she went amazing into the absolutely different department. She shifted, and many people from sales shift to marketing like this as well, because usually there's a tie between the studies or some experiences. Young people usually are already in a way to get some job. Okay, they get the job, but actually they have a lot of skill set for going a little bit different direction, and they need this tiny push. They need this, the trial. It's the same like when you are in a high school and you have a chance to see a different jobs platforms or the opportunity to try the job. It's the same situation in the adult life. We don't have to be closed in one journey. That's why you should be learning and trying out the stuff. And if the organization allow you that, I think it's a brilliant to find a much higher talent or potential for their employees.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Neraya?
Hi, my name is Neeraja, and I'm a recent graduate from Monmouth University in New Jersey. So I am looking for job opportunities. So it's very hard for a recent graduate to reach the industry level. And even though I try attending the meetings or the events happening, it's like an icebreaker thing. It's like I get stuck. It's very hard to reach through that. Can you help me with some tips?
So yes, as a fresh graduate, it's hard when you don't have any projects behind you or some real work experience. Now you can network, but I can imagine that it's a tricky because usually you're going to be networking with the people who already have their own projects or they're already advanced in the career. One option for you could be to find a mentor, to approach someone who can be mentoring you for the future steps, who can give you some valuable advices, for example, in communication or in how you are applying, how you are basically approaching this hunting of the job, because they already went through. Everyone already been a fresh graduate. And another thing which I would advise you is to try to upskill yourself with something. So you are not just freshly graduated, but try to, for example, get involved in projects which are, as these hackathons I mentioned. So getting involved in some projects which are real-time projects, which you giving your knowledge in, and it's having some results or something you can present later on to the employee or the future employee. Anything what is extra and actually showcasing your knowledge in a real-time application is something what really helps in finding a job, because they already see that it's not just that you graduated, but you also work on it. You already know how to use these things. So yeah, that would be my advice. And then network a lot. Like really try to speak with the people. Try to speak with more and more people asking the same thing. Like be totally vulnerable. You can go for a networking event and you can speak with some managers and tell them directly, because there might be things which are very specific for your field or for your position by itself. And that exactly what mentors are also helping, because they can let you know that if you want to reach this job at this company, this is the way. And on a personal level, I would really recommend you to not take it that you can't get the job after university, although it's really hard because you probably went through it for some time, but take it as some specific goal you want to reach. So have really clear vision of this is the position, or even better, this is the company I want to have this position at. And hunt it, go for it, like do everything what will be necessary for it. If you see that you are missing some skills and it's written on the job description, just get them. Go and do your best to really sell yourself afterwards to the company, and they will know that you are the best. And you don't have to be 100% what they are requiring. You just have to know how to literally put yourself in front of them, that they see your value in bringing you to work on the certain project or the position you're looking for. Yeah, that would be my advice, I think. And lots of strength and
That's a
patience,
really good
because it
advice.
can be hard.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Tamer?
Actually, I would like to follow up with Laura last advice. For all the junior researcher or junior people who just started their career, hunt what you would like to go for and ask for help. The worst case scenario, if you go for someone and say, I would like to work with you in this position, or I would like to have a position in your organization, the worst case scenario say, sorry, we don't have this position for you. But most probably, people who are going, you are going to someone and you say, I would like to work with you. I would like to have this position. I would like to learn more about this topic, for example. They look at you with the eye that, okay, this is like a person who has very good motivation for the future, and normally they are taking care of you. So I completely agree with you, Laura, about this, like, hunting your position, go and ask, yeah, I would like to have this. And there is nothing you will hurt you.
Yeah,
Just ask,
but I totally imagine how hard it can be, because you just finished
of
the
course.
school, so you are not in the industry directly. And in the
Yes.
same time, you kind of feel like you get so many rejections, or you don't get answers. So it's like you are pushed socially that you need to get the job. You also want it. You have a skills for that because you already studied something. And in the same time, you're still getting on this like position of nothingness. And that's why you really have to just find your inner strength in it. You have to really know what you are hunting and what you want, because if you just go to the market, someone is going to find you, someone is going to take you. Like, for sure you're not going to be unemployed forever. But is it really something what you want? Is it really your job which you have a skills for? You might be regretting it later on, of just working specifically for something you want, or even exploring what you really want and just trying out. Try it. I know it's hard nowadays with the job situation in the tech industry these years, but it's possible. It's possible, and we all have a ways to go forward. So we have to just stay kind of true to ourselves, trying to always learn and do better, but in the same time, not giving up and going for the goal.
Yeah.
And you always have a support around you. Just to tell you, there's a lots of groups, there's lots of networks where you have a people which gonna be inspiring you and helping you through the journey. So just don't give up. Dominika?
Yeah, I wanted to kind of like circle back to the point about feedback mechanisms and the importance of feedback, because I also think it's very important, and it kind of reminded me of like my previous job when I worked as a technical writer. So I basically like wrote the instructions for how to use our software for the customers. So there were some mechanisms in place, but mostly they were internal, and I would wanted to ask if you could maybe elaborate on that, on kind of what specific examples of mechanisms could there be to generate useful feedback.
So for me, the feedbacks are a bit tricky because you have the mechanism which are obligatory from, let's say, big companies or corporations, which are two-way dialogue. So you write a review and the person reviewing you, and then you have a discussion together. Many times this is not very transparent. Many times these things are because you know someone's reading, you know, it's like I can't really be fully open. You're smart enough to know how to put the things together, and they are resulting in some blockages because in the end you don't speak up or you don't address the things which actually could be done better. I personally prefer the direct feedback, so having the catch-ups even monthly or even bi-weekly, not going through the results by itself, but going through the processes, going through the whole vision, going through the whole values. That's something what I would be suggesting to companies. I can't really, because there's their internal system and it's already very time consuming, but for you as an employee, I would definitely reach out to your boss and I'd address this. There's no boss who is going to tell you no because they want to see you proactive and driven. So you requesting that bi-weekly we're going to have like a energy checkup, you know, how the things are going, and you can openly trust it with him and be transparent with telling him the suggestions, oppositely hearing from his side what he thinks is missing. I think it's the biggest value. But for that, you need a really good leader. Then having some direct feedback, I always find nice when people say the nice things about the others. So you appreciate something what other team, for example, that done for you. And that can be just personal. That can be just through the online tool, communication tool your company is using. We many times forget that because many times we come to the feedback only when there's a problems or there's some blockages. But many times even simple email or simple message on the Slack like, wow, after this call, I really love how you handled this and this. It sometimes give the person the right push they need. So it's not only about the feedback on the sense of growing forward or adjusting the things or suggesting the things. It's also the feedback in the sense of letting the other person know that they are doing something really well or you are inspired by what they did or how they handle the situation.
Yeah, thanks. I think we're kind of nearing the end, or actually we're one past, so it's gone by very quickly. So I'd like to encourage everyone, if they have any last questions, to ask them now. Yeah, Tamara, go ahead.
Actually, it's not a question, it's maybe a reflection or thoughts or something like this. Um, Actually, I would like to look at the talk today with a different point of view, from point of view of underrepresentative group and the people who are from women, for example, who are in tech field or people who are immigrant coming from another countries. Actually, I see as a leaders, owner of companies or so, everyone has value. And the problem is for the organization, they couldn't discover the value of this underrepresentative group. So if you have like 10 people who are working with you and there is one of them is from this underrepresentative group and you say, ah, this guy is a lazy or he didn't give us what we are looking for because he coming from different background or so on. This is not true. He actually has value, but the problem that you as a leader, you couldn't find this value. You didn't see what color that this guy is have. But if you find it, this guy has good skills in communication, or good skills in technical skills, or skills in business administration or something like this. If you find the value, you can really use this underrepresentative group in your organization. So there's just some thoughts about like reflection on, yeah.
And this is why, Tamer, is very important that we are social and we network and we meet other people, because sometimes even we oversee our values or we don't define it correctly because of some, social backgrounds or social implications. And it's very important to have a chance to actually discover it, or maybe someone in the team tells you, or maybe one person from 1,000 notice, but it's going to make a change. So yeah, it's a long time journey of discovering your own values and your own value in the company, and also for the others to understand it or to be given in a sense that maybe they find something new in you. So yeah, it's a process. It's a long process, but luckily it's possible. We are humans, and we have a lot of social interactions when you can get these things.
Yeah, that's why I also like the color analogy, because we're usually kind of led to believe that only probably the red person's personality traits are kind of the ones that are most wanted, especially in the company cultures. But yeah, for the team to kind of work smoothly and as it should, yeah, it's a collaboration of many with different personality types. So
And
yeah,
each of them has some strengths, each of them has some
exactly.
little bit less or limitations, but in the end, when they work all together, it works very well. But again, you have to be open to that. I personally know people who would choose the team from only very specific color group, let's say, because it's more comfortable for them to get the results or get the communication go. But many times the diversity is actually implying for the success or the results of all of it, the overall results and the impact. Then having something simple way, of course, for some it works, but there is a limit. Everything which is limited is not as huge or flourishing as it could be.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, all right, I think yeah, it's time to wrap up slowly. So thank you very much, Laura Maria, for being here today and for giving us this great talk. I feel like yeah, many of us are inspired to kind of get more into the social life of the work environment, kind of just to network and just take our chance if we can, and not be kind of scared to learn more about ourselves, about opportunities out there and everything, because we can just grow. So yeah, thank you very much, and thank you also for all of you for being here and attending this seminar. And see you later for our future talks, I think. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice
Thank
evening,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.